amazing leg work and heel action of Justin Suh as he gets ready to strike the ball. You can see him right here. This is right before impact over here, and you can see how he is. If you take a vertical line from the heel all the way up, you can see he's moved himself way back to make room to strike the ball. And the reason why is because the closer you stand to the ball at address, the more dynamic your movement skills have to be to get your body out of the way. That's why it's much better for us amateurs in particular and aging professionals to stand further back from the ball, so we put less stressful rotational demands on our legs and our lower trunk. So let's look at Justin through the ball. There we go. So this is his impact position. This is his address position. Not quite. There's his address position. And you can see how much his head drops. He literally drops, what, 8 inches maybe through impact. Let's watch it slow-mo here. Here we go. So down he comes, and he gets even lower now. I mean, look at that. How, does one teach themselves to do that? How's a teaching pro teach this? I mean, this is just what he probably developed as a little kid, and he just worked with it. And it was his movement. Like, he moves like this, like we walk. You should videotape your swing from down the line and see what your leg action looks like. It'll be nothing like this guy. These pros are literally like movement geniuses when it comes to their leg action. His driver is even more unbelievable. And you see down below, here we go. Get over to the driver. There you go, top of the backswing. Big wide stance for a short guy. I think he's like 5'7", 5'8" or so. Up he goes. Look at that. Look at that leg work. So after he goes airborne, strikes the ball, he lands back on his right foot and stays there. Look how high his hands are through follow-through with his rear foot still flat on the ground. And then finally it comes up. Look at that. Look how. Now you should videotape your swing. Look where his hands are. The club is back here, and his heel is barely off the ground. Of course, it's taking place in less than a third of a second, but you should see where your left heel is. Sorry, your right heel, your trail heel, when you're moving through the ball. I guarantee that your trail heel is, well, depending upon what type of amateur movement pattern problem that you have, but the average amateur gets off that rear foot way too early and spins through. This guy hasn't even raised his right heel more than a couple inches, and his hands are way back here. So my suggestion would be, if you've never seen a video that I've done before, go to my YouTube channel, The Amateur Golfer's Dilemma, and go to the playlist called Pros Swinging from Their Heels. So you can see the various movement strategies that pros have depending upon how close they stand to the ball. And it's diverse, which is why it's very difficult for teaching pros to teach amateurs leg action. I mean, they never focus on leg action. It's always where the hands are, the shoulders, how the club looks at the top of the backswing. And then the average amateur just comes down the ball and then gets up on their toes and then goes into early extension because they don't know how to swing from their heels. So these videos, this section shows how pros swing from their heels, and I talk about and I show some exercises and drills that we amateurs can do to learn to better swing from our heels. But the first thing we have to do is identify our ideal setup position from the ball so we don't stand up through impact. Now for me, I'm D mostly, C-D, depending upon what I'm doing. I don't do E. This is more of a DeChambeau setup position, as well as Mo Norman, actually. And Mo Norman's move through the ball is totally different than any of these guys. Mo Norman actually starts with his knees extended and then drops into it. So there are multiple strategies to move through the ball. The simplest strategy involves a movement associated with standing further back from the ball, so we don't have to do this kind of stuff that Justin Suh does. Now, if you're a pro, I mean, why would you even be watching this anyway? But the average amateur, we've got horrific leg action, and we can make up for our horrific leg action by standing back further from the ball, which effectively clears our hips at address. Now think about that statement. Standing further back from the ball effectively clears our hips at address, so that there's less dynamic movement demands placed upon us as we move down through the hitting zone. So I talk about this stuff in almost all my 40-some videos, as well as in my book, The Amateur Golfer's Dilemma.